Good afternoon and welcome to the BizTech Asia Midday Market Watch. I'm Samantha Voon and my co-host here today, Jeffrey Halley. It's the 21st of May and our guest today is Phan Vee Leung, founder and CIO of TrackRecord Trading Academy. Vee, thanks for coming on the show today.
Hey, it's good to be here today. Let's talk about markets.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start the show as we normally do and have a look around the markets in Asia. So a bit of a sea of red today, to be honest. Nikkei 225 down 0.13%. Shanghai has fallen by 0.45%, but things are looking pretty ugly over in Hong Kong today. The Hang Seng falling by 2.08%. In Australia, the ASX 200 is down 0.07%. South Korea's Kospi is down 0.62%. In Singapore, the STI has fallen by 0.38%. And in Kuala Lumpur, the KLSC is down 0.19%. Vee, Hong Kong's the standout there today. What are your thoughts on today's market moves?
I think it's just a temporary correction. Hong Kong has been doing really well for the past few weeks. I think a breather is overdue. So I think it's just a minor correction in the overall trend higher.
Okay, Vee, let's talk about cryptocurrency. We saw a lot of movement yesterday with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Ethereum is up 20% and now at $3,689. What's up with the movement, and is the approval of the spot Ethereum ETF imminent?
I think overnight the Bloomberg analysts increased the odds of the approval by from 25% to 75%. I'm not sure how they come up with these percentages, but it's just random expression of their opinions. But I think it's besides the point whether it's going to be approved this week or next week. It's eventual and inevitable, given that the Bitcoin ETS was approved by the SEC, although they didn't really want to do it. They were forced to do it because of legal rulings, and I think that's going to happen with other cryptocurrencies as well. And even if they manage to find any idiosyncrasies of Ether to disapprove of Ether ETFs, eventually we will see ETFs for other cryptocurrencies that are also well received by the markets. And how do we know this? It's because we are seeing Bitcoin ETFs since the launch of Bitcoin ETFs in the US in January. We have seen net inflows of $12.8 billion. And that's a matter of a few months, and there's new money coming into the space. And we're not just having random mom and pop investors coming in to buy Bitcoin ETFs because they have nothing else better to do. We are seeing legitimate investors coming in. We are seeing Millennium Partners, one of the biggest hedge funds, most successful hedge funds in the world. They have invested a substantial amount of money into Bitcoins, and we are seeing state pensions as well as other state authorities pension funds, where we're seeing their investment funds all trying to seek approval to add ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs as one of their asset allocation options. And this is just the beginning. So eventually, once the money, I think there's one thing you can be sure of in finance is that once the money comes in, all the big traditional finance firms will be rushing in to earn a portion of the fees. BlackRock is raking it in, and I think everybody else wants a piece of that pie as well. And BlackRock has a very high percentage rate of ETF approvals. I don't think they're going to do anything that will result in failure at any point in time. So it's a matter of when rather than if the ETFs will be approved. So as you said, the Ether price went up by 20% yesterday because of sudden optimism. But I think this is just a matter of time anyway. Any dips should be a dip to be bought if you believe that the cryptocurrency space will get more and more mainstream investors, and that's looking very highly likely at the moment.
The next major milestone appears to be Thursday. Van Eck, which is an ETF manager, that's the date that they'll be hearing whether the SEC has approved their Ether ETF. Do you have any thoughts on what the odds are that ETF may get approved? Although you are clearly bullish on the crypto space, do you think this could spur another wave of buying across the whole digital space if it does get approved?
Yes, I think it is already spurring the inflows coming in, and we are seeing inflows in the cryptocurrency space, not just because of ETFs, but it's just that the ETFs is making it much easier for the money to come in. The money is coming in anyway, and it has been coming in since the launch of these cryptocurrencies, right? So back in 2013, when Bitcoin was in its infancy, it's $100. When you talk about Bitcoins, you are considered a kook, right? But right now, it's 2024, slightly more than 10 years later, we are discussing Bitcoin quite regularly on a legitimate finance program such as yours, right? If you're no longer cooks, right? Suddenly I'm looking like an expert in something that matters to many people in this world. So in a matter of 10 years, I've transitioned from a cook to a guy in the wings talking about fringe investments. Suddenly it's a mainstream investments, and my opinion suddenly matters, right? I think it's a sign of times. It's eventual. It's just that the ETFs is providing a legitimate conduit for the rest of the world to come in and do not have to worry about custody solutions, do not have to worry about being hacked. You don't worry about being hacked if you are investing in BlackRock ETFs, right? You know it's the real brand name. It's not going to be hacked. Even if it's hacked, it's insured. You'll be okay. And that is the main point that we need to understand. It's not that the ETFs ETF is just accelerating what has been happening for years, and most people do not have the patience to see the timeline beyond a few months or even a few weeks, right? But now it's becoming more visible to them because the timeline has shortened. The acceleration, the adoption phase is becoming more frantic, becoming more obvious. So you're seeing the price action that would have happened eventually being compressed in the shortest time span. So it's becoming more obvious. We talk about it. You don't want to talk about something that has gone up 10 times in 3 years, right? But we want to talk about something that's gone up 10 times in 6 months. And that is what is going to happen eventually. What we are seeing is that the adoption continues and is accelerating, and is now legitimate people. So we used to have CEOs of financial firms, and even now some still stick to the story that Bitcoin is a scam, right? It's absolutely no value whatsoever. But for something that supposedly has no intrinsic value, it is very close to all-time highs yet again. And it is not just Bitcoin. If you look at gold, it is trading very close to all-time highs, making new all-time highs. US stocks as well is making new all-time highs. So it's not just a cryptocurrency story. It is also risk assets in general. We are seeing risk assets prices. So hard assets, the prices are going up because the US Federal Reserve is very close to the start of an easing cycle, right? If inflation continues to trend lower and economic growth continues to moderate, we will see asset prices continue to make new all-time highs. And that's the key, right? I think one of the things that we should be looking out for is for signs that inflation is starting to undershoot expectations again. And we kind of saw that the past week. So the next important data point would be the US inflation data, the PCE index at the end of this month. And for now, even before it is starting to reconfirm that inflation is heading lower, we are seeing markets starting to react to that. And I think, as you know, you've been in the markets a long time, markets tend to react before the price in the eventual outcomes. And so what is the risk here? The risk is that inflation surprises to the upside and economic growth continues to be strong and, in fact, surprise to the upside as well. That's the risk to asset prices for now.
Okay, I guess like really exciting days ahead. Yeah. Okay, Vee, thanks for coming on the show.
Yep, you're most
And
welcome.
we've been yeah, we've been speaking to Phan Vee Leung, founder and CIO of TrackRecord Trading Academy on BizTech Midday Market Watch. I am Samantha Voon,
And I'm Jeffrey Halley.
and this interview will be on our website www.biztech.asia as well as our social media platforms. It will also be on our syndication partners, TV stations, radio stations, and website. Thanks for tuning in.